I've had it. Good.
Any update on Jacoby or Elijah?
Nah, we're going to keep it at the availability report before the game.
What do you see on the O-line after you made the adjustments with Micah?
I thought they did a good job. We had one communication error on it, but yeah, largely played well. And it obviously, we ended up shifting a couple of guys before that, or because of that, and they handled it well. I mean, those guys take a lot of reps at different positions throughout the week and really have throughout spring and camp. So I think some of the position flex that we've built up at that position in particular really paid off there.
How did it change what you were able to do not having Jacoby, and how did you maybe see Jayden really fill in that spot and step up to the plate?
Yeah, I mean, J. Rich came in and played well. I mean, we felt like he would be, one of the next guys there to go, and had a lot of confidence in him. He's another guy, speaking of the position flex, that he has really created his own value here. He can play any of the receiver positions in our offense. Just does a lot of things well, both things that show up in the box score and a lot of things that don't. The way he blocks, the way he communicates. He's a really good route runner, strong, tough kid. So, he stepped up and did some really nice things. Some other guys stepped up, and yeah, I mean, we're never really built around one person. We try not to be for reasons like that. Is all of a sudden if you don't have that person available, then that changes you. So, I don't know that we changed a whole lot and just went and ran our offense, and the guys did a good job producing.
I get through the first. It's amazing. You're going to week 5. Your assessment of your first 4 games. Do you like where you're at and what these guys have been doing?
Oh, I mean, I like the 1-loss record. I think we've shown flashes on all sides of being a team that could be really tough to beat. Our battle is going to be, like we said, is going to be our ability to do it from a consistency standpoint, our ability to do it together, where all 3 sides are really rising at the same time. We've had some moments here and there where you've seen flashes of that this year, and so. But yeah, that's going to be part of it. Obviously, cutting out some of the errors that have kept a couple of these games probably closer than they really felt on the field, will be important for our growth as a team. So, each week's going to continue to be its own challenge. But I walk out there right now like confident on all 3 sides that we can get the job done, and I feel that way. I'm going to feel that way into every game that we walk into right now. And so now we got to go do it. But I feel like we have. Units that can win games, and not just one unit here or there that's maybe performing at a high level and trying to overcompensate for the other. And so that's typically the really good teams I've been a part of, the teams that have won a pretty good amount. You typically felt that way.
We asked you last week about using tight ends, especially using 2 tight ends. I know as you're coming up, Mike Leach wasn't really someone who used the tight end a lot. I'm curious, where did that where was that added to your repertoire? Was there someone in particular who kind of showed you how valuable the tight end could be?
We had a couple of pretty decent ones actually at Tech during those years. We didn't. If we had a good one, we used it. If we didn't, we didn't. But we were fortunate, had a couple pretty talented guys. So I got a little exposed to maybe some of the tight ends in the throw game there. We ended up having one pretty good one, really 2 pretty good ones at my time at East Carolina, and we started getting, I think, a little bit more creative there, especially with some of the run game and some of the different things we could do off of it. And then obviously we had some fabulous tight ends at OU. Walked right into a room where, we had Mark Andrews and Dimitri Flowers and Carson Meyer, and which was a phenomenal group. They were all pretty young at the time and unproven, but. And it just kind of grew from there. We felt like they were some of the best, most versatile players on our roster, and we just started building more and more. We started studying people. And we got to the point where we were playing with tight ends so much in so many different ways. It just became very comfortable for us. And but I've always, when we haven't had it, I've always going to do what you got to do to win, but I've missed it because I love the matchups and love what it creates. And I'm excited about what that room's become for us. And like I said, I think that room's just going to get better as we go on.
It's more just a matter of tinkering with it, kind of in the lab. More
there's there's so much you can do, because they really are. They're again, if you get a really good one, it could be like having a 6th lineman, a 4th receiver. At times we've had it's almost like having a 2nd or 3rd running back in the game. I mean, it just. The great ones can create just such unique matchups, and you've seen that at the pro level. I mean, obviously you've seen some of these guys like, what Kelsey and all these different guys, George Kittle, all the matchups that creates. I mean, there's a lot of really good ones in the league right now that it's the one piece, running backs mostly can do that, maybe get out and catch the ball some. You have a few receivers that can, block or maybe run it between the tackles, but it's the one piece that really can truly do everything. But like we said the other day, it's also the hardest piece to find.
Jayden's been pretty accurate throughout these first couple of games. How much of that is the people around him, and how much of that is his own kind of personal development?
Yeah, I mean, accuracy is a good accuracy is a complement to an entire offense. The O-line, the protections, obviously the routes, catching the ball, finishing the plays. So I mean, it's definitely a group stat in my mind. I think Jayden has done his part up to this point of being prepared. I think his footwork has radically improved. I think that's been the biggest physical difference, which again I think is a product of just him being more comfortable with what we're doing and knowing exactly where his feet are supposed to be on every play. And I think he's developed a good rapport and trust with some of these guys. So I would say it's a combination of all, and we're going to need it to continue.
In what ways has Coach Hansen impacted the O-line room in maybe ways that we don't see?
He's done a great job. I mean, I give him, a lot of credit. It's, a few new faces in there, and we've had to play a few different lineups, and he's really steady. I think he's long been, one of the most valuable coaches on the staff. I mean, how good he was, and some of the different special teams units here that he was really involved in. He was involved, you just had the previous question, obviously helping build this tight end room. He's just a really, really versatile coach, and he's really clear, really detailed, and I think our guys are playing extremely clear-minded right now, which is important up front when it's not just one guy doing his job. You're trying to get 5 guys in sync, and any lack of clarity can really hurt you. So he's done an outstanding job, it's one of those deals. O-line job opens up at USC. The amount of calls that you get and people that want this job and all that. I mean, trust me, we couldn't have hired anybody better. Period.
The big plays or misplays by the secondary kind of stand out, but what if some of the challenges those guys have faced up to this point?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing has been just a couple of we've had, either one busted coverage or one miscommunication, in all the games. And I think that's the biggest thing that has shown up. We've by and large played, the percentage of plays that we've played well has been enough to certainly win and play very well. We've had some really good tackles. We've obviously intercepted a handful of passes. We've made a bunch of game-changing plays. Our batting percentage is fine. It's just when we have a bad one, it needs to be a 12-yard completion and let's get him tackled and move on to the next play. I think the biggest thing is we've given a few too many gifts. And that's obviously been the biggest focus for us right now, is making sure from a communication standpoint we're there, from a responsibility standpoint that we're there, so that if people make a play on us, it's because they earned it and they made a hell of a play versus, busting and leaving somebody, just wide open down the sideline. So we own it. We got to get a lot better. And again, it's not our better plays getting better, our good plays getting better, but our bad ones have got to be ones that don't kill us. And that's been the message to the guys.
You talked about how confident you are in all the different groups on the team. Is that a similar feeling that how you felt in the first year when you were here? Or is that a different feeling?
No, there's a lot of things that are different. I mean, it's a different time. We're in a really, really different league. I mean, I would say I did not feel this confident as a whole about how these different groups were playing and maybe what I felt like that they were capable of. It doesn't feel like that at all now. Some of the player-led leadership and some of the vibe around this team gives me a little bit of those first-year feels a little bit. But I mean, this is a more talented, more capable football team right now. By a pretty significant margin.